Welcome back. Today we're kicking off our new series. It's called Mortgage Monday.
And during this series, Chong Yi of the Yi team at Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation has advice on the latest insider knowledge on buying a home. Good to see you again, Chong.
Good to be back.
Welcome to Mondays.
Welcome.
Hi, this is my favorite day of the week, and today's my favorite day because it is our first show together.
So what are we going to expect on Mortgage Mondays?
Well, it's going to be National Nap Day every. That's
We
today,
like
right?
nap day. Yep,
That was
today is National Nap Day.
But we're going to take naps, and we're going to talk about anything mortgage related as it relates to your finance, your personal finance.
Okay.
All right, so you asked viewers to send in some questions over social media, and
Yeah.
you're so excited about educating people in the process because many people just don't know, even if they've bought a home, they just don't know the ins and outs of it like you do, an expert.
Ooh,
So the first
pressure.
question is, should you make extra payments in your mortgage to pay it down sooner? What is your opinion?
So before I answer that question, can I just make a quick comment?
Yes.
We're welcoming back Jen Hansel to our team. She's been out, and she's going to be back, and we missed her, and I love her, and she's coming back next week. So just want to mention that, Jen.
Oh, well, welcome back, Jen.
Welcome back, Jen. Well, and I love too, you've got, the family that you have at your company. So
Yes.
that's why you guys work so well together.
Yes, for sure.
So you have the experts. So what do you think about the mortgage payment?
So I look at mortgage, like a lot of people think of it as debt, right? I look at it as a financial tool, right? So, and I think I've said this before in the show, if you were to buy a $600,000 of, let's say, Amazon stock, right? You have to have $600,000 to buy that stock. But with a mortgage, right, that mortgage allows you to buy a $600,000 property putting 5% down. So for $30,000, you can own a $600,000 property. So with that being said, I'm not also a huge fan, like in a low interest rate environment, I'm not a huge fan of paying extra towards your mortgage because
Okay.
I believe that you can make more money outside of your mortgage and have your money grow for you elsewhere.
That's interesting. So now mortgage loan rates are about 4.3% for 30-year loans, 3.8 for 15-year loans, and you're saying that's low right now.
That's very
That's
low,
okay.
and that could change, by the
And
way.
it could change. So
For sure. So like if you're looking at like a 30-year loan, right? So if you have a 4.3% interest rate, after your tax benefit, you're really paying at like 3.3% or even lower. So the question is that money that you're directing towards the principal of the home, could you make more money outside? And the answer is, I think so. And the question is always, where am I going to get it?
Right.
And I say, well, just for starters, you can invest in like an index stock, right? Where the S&P fund has grown at 9.7% since the 1920s. So the answer to that question is absolutely, you can let your money grow elsewhere.
All right. Another question we have is how long should you keep hard copies of mortgage paperwork, and will I need them later?
So that question comes kind of personally from my better half, Lorraine. Couldn't find her mortgage documents.
Oh, no.
So when we were doing taxes, her taxes. So the quick answer to that is at least a year, so you can do your taxes. But overall, I think you should keep them anyway, because as it relates to your loan, because at some point you may want to refinance to reduce your payment, or when you're selling your property, you may need to show that. The documentation. So my answer to that, and nowadays it's so digital, you can keep that for as long as you need to.
that's good to know. Okay, so the next question is, should I do a 15 or a 30-year mortgage loan? What's your advice?
That's an awesome question. I'm a huge believer in borrowing as much as you can for as long as you can in a low interest rate environment, of which where we are now.
Right.
So yes, the payments, you can pay off your mortgage sooner on a 15-year loan. However, I think that difference, that delta between the 30-year payment and 15-year payment, you can direct that once again outside of your mortgage and let the appreciation of money grow for you, right? So I'm a big fan, and there's a great example. We have a client of ours who we showed this to, right? And we calculated it out, like instead of 15 years, if they did what we're talking about, they're going to pay it off in 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we can show you the math on that. as
Right.
well.
Well, that's what the experts are for. That's what you guys are for, to figure out all this math. All right, our next question. Do we need 20% down payment to buy a house?
No, and the
I think that's
20%.
what scares people sometimes.
Right.
It does, it does, and I think a lot of times you're trying to save that money, the market outgrows you, if that makes sense. So you're saving money, but as the values of homes go up, right? So the answer to that is you can actually have 0% down, although I'm not a huge fan of that because I think that you should have some equity stake in your home.
Right.
But 3%, 5%, they're all options that we could provide.
That's good to know because I have heard people say, man, I should have bought 10 years ago when I was thinking about it. But if they're saving and the way prices are now, it might just be you don't have as many options. So good information
and
there.
going back to the, back in like my parents, the house I grew up in, my dad was paying at 16.5%. So
Wait, say that again.
16.5%.
16.5. So of course, 3 and 4% is low.
Correct,
nowadays.
absolutely.
Now's a good time. Okay, so how do we get started with a loan to buy a home?
First thing you have to do is watch the show. Quickly watching it.
Mortgage Mondays with Chong
Best
Yi.
show on TV. And if I'm not on the show, I'm watching it every morning. I watch you guys. I think it's great.
Thanks for watching.
You're welcome. Other than that, you really have to call a mortgage professional. You can actually call me. That'd be nice, all right? Love to be able to help.
Well, we talk so much about how important the teams are, and you're working with realtors all the time, so you are constantly in conversation and knows what the market is happening.
Yeah, I mean,
to a T, so.
Yeah, we have relationships with a lot of different realtors out there, so we know what may be coming to the market before.
Well, Chong, thank you so much. We're going to have you back. You can get more great information. But to inquire now about financing a home or other information about mortgages, contact Chong Yi at theYiTeam.com. This segment was sponsored by the Yi Team.